Hello there and welcome back to my world of stuff. It's Sunday afternoon, very rainy and miserable and wet here in South Wales, as it frequently is this time of year, and I thought I'd just do a video. I haven't done this sort of video for 2 to 3 weeks, I think. It's a pickups video, the bits and pieces that I've picked up, not just DVDs and Blu-rays, but memorabilia, books, anything that I think might be of interest. And I thought I would do one this afternoon because it's a rotten, horrible day before I sit down to watch a couple of films in the cinema room. I thought I would just run through the stuff I've bought because there's quite a few bits and pieces. I didn't realise how much stuff I'd picked up the last fortnight or so. And yeah, once again, apologies for the beardless look. It's the weekend and I really can't be bothered. Welcome anyway to the world of stuff. If you're interested in this sort of content, physical media, books, entertainment-y stuff, you need to like and subscribe. You need to press that there subscribe button. If you would, that would be lovely. Leave a comment. Always nice to hear from people. I hope you've been enjoying the bonfire. Something caught my attention in the corner of the room. Hope you've enjoyed the Bond film, No Time to Die. Check out my review, which is back there. Please, not a lot of people have yet. I know that everybody and his brother has done No Time to Die reviews, but have a look at mine anyway. Go on, be a love. And let me know what you think of the film. It seems to be going down very well. And yeah, people seem to be loving it, generally, apart from a few who don't. Anyway. Let's have a look at the stuff I've bought in the last couple of weeks. Some interesting things, I think. One of which only came today and I haven't opened it yet, so we can have the pleasure together. I'm going to show you this first of all, because this is a lovely little piece. I picked this up because I'm always online and I'm always getting alerts and things from various online sellers. I get to hear about sales, flash sales, reductions and things. And this is a lovely piece that came up on Zavvi about 3 months ago, I think. Now, according to Zavvi, it was originally something like £119, then reduced it to £29.99. It's from the Eagle Moss collection. Excuse me. If I was professional, I'd cut that out, but why not? This is from the Eagle Moss collection. This is part of their Alien range. They do the Doctor Who figures, Marvel, DC, Harry Potter, all sorts of stuff. And they do a range of things based on Alien. And I'm quite a fan of certainly the first couple of Alien films. I couldn't resist this, however, reduced to £29.99. It's a heavy old beast. This is the Alien pilot. She's got the Alien thing on the back. This is the Alien engineer and piloty thing from the very first film. It's got the sort of gun barrel type thing and the Alien pilot sitting behind it. And it's really weighty. It's a really nice heavy piece. And I don't know if Eagle Moss had ever sold it at £119.99, but it was certainly on sale for £29.99 when I pre-ordered it about 3 months ago, and it finally arrived about a fortnight ago. Really nice chunky piece, which is on display in one of the cabinets in the cinema room. But as you can see, it's a lovely, Eagle Moss do great figures, particularly of things like this. Not so great with human likenesses, I will say, but I think stuff like this, where they're working from the original designs, just looks beautiful. I mean, look at the craftsmanship and detail on the barrel of this thing. I don't know if they've still got them at that price or whether they've got them in stock at all, but if you can get one and you're a fan of Aliens and Alien and stuff, it's well worth a look. It's a lovely piece. I'm really pleased with that. In terms of DVDs and stuff, Blu-rays, not a lot really, not a lot in the last few weeks. I did pick up, of course, Black Widow, which came out 2 weeks ago, I think, 2-3 weeks ago. Lovely 4K edition with a really nice bit of spot gloss and sort of a slightly raised sort of cover. Of course, inside you've got a fairly box standard black thing with photographs on the 2 discs. You've got the 4K and the Blu-ray. Yeah, and latest one for the Marvel collection. Of course, I like this film. I think I got a lot of time for this film. And yes, it does seem several years too late. We should have had this a few years back. But it's a nice full stop for Scarlett Johansson's character. I watched it again last weekend. Really enjoyed it. And that's on 4K. It's out now. I also picked this one up. There are 4K releases of a lot of John Carpenter's films at the moment, as you've probably seen. I'm not the world's biggest John Carpenter fan, but I like some of his stuff. Particularly The Thing, which is the classic ultimate in alien terror. Whether it is or not is another matter. But yeah, I picked this one up again on 4K. There's really nice deluxe editions as well with all sorts of bits and pieces and collectibles and cards and things. But I went for this because that's good enough for me. Again, a nice black case. Again, inside, fairly bog standard, but you've got the 4K disc and the Blu-ray disc with nice illustrations on there. I'm actually not entirely sure about the cover. I think I prefer the original Blu-ray cover and the DVD cover, which has got the sort of the alien with the white light shining around him, framed against blue. But this is yeah, this is quite a nice little cover. And it's a classic film. Again, I watched this last week. Again, I was going to do a video for the channel. Didn't get around to it, but I might do it if there's any demand. But yeah, really good film. It's really stood the test of time. And you got the practical effects by, I think it was Rob Bottin, which still stand up so well. The pretty hideous visuals in that, really. Two more. This I picked this one up in a charity show, one of those exchange places, just a couple of days ago. This is a very, very underrated Tom Cruise film. This is called Oblivion. Now, this is a really interesting Blu-ray and ultraviolet disc set. A bit fragile, perhaps. But yeah, you see the disc inside. It's all in good condition generally. I picked this up because I've actually already got this. It's a bit grubby, but it's good clean. Should be okay. A very underrated Tom Cruise film from when it came out, 2004. Tom Cruise, Andrea Riseborough, a really good original science fiction film, not a franchise, not a sequel, not a remake, really good. I like this sort of white cover that it's got. Now, as I said, I've already got this, but the I picked it up a few years ago from CEX, and it had one of their sticky labels on the front of it. When I took the label off, it took half the cover off. And when I saw this on Friday in one of those exchange places, I thought, yeah, we're going to have this. See, it's the same sort of problem. There's a label on the back, which I hadn't noticed. I'm peeling that off, peels off half the credit. It's so annoying, these bloody labels. But it's better condition than the one I got, so I'm quite pleased to have that. And it's a good film. I'm looking forward to rewatching it, but the disc will need a bit of a scrub. The last physical media is one I was actually sent to review for Starburst magazine. It's called The New World Order. Don't know a lot about it. This one leads straight to DVD sci-fi films. Intelligent machines are winning in a war against mankind. The last survivor of a resistance group, Lilia, meets wounded deserter Thomas in the vast emptiness of northern Scandinavia. She's determined to defeat the superior machines, a strategy that unavoidably collides with Thomas's plan to hide and survive. Yeah, low budget, but worth a look. I sent this to review for Starburst magazine, so look out for a review online in the next couple of days. It looks like it might be quite entertaining. I'm probably going to watch this afternoon once I've done a little bit of tidying up in the cinema room and sorting things out. Other stuff, comic books. Now, as you may have picked up from previous videos, I am sort of collecting from eBay some comic books and comic book collections, because I'm sort of revisiting my youth as I get older, and I like to sort of revisit these things and just bring back some nice memories, I suppose. Particularly wanted to get this one because, of course, the film is coming out next month, and although I think I read some of the comic back in the 70s, I don't remember much about it, so I picked up this omnibus edition of the first 11 editions of Jack Kirby's original incarnation of the Eternals from the early 1970s, 73, I think it came out. And I thought it'd be interesting, although I know broadly what the Eternals is about, and you can gather it from the trailer, really. I thought it might be nice to know a little bit more about the background, even though I don't expect the film to slavishly follow the storyline of the comics, because this is Jack Kirby and his stuff is fairly nuts. But this is all reprinted in colour. The artwork is just beautiful. Jack Kirby, I think this is one of his passion projects, and it just looks beautiful. I read the first 2 issues that are in here, and it's just nuts. Great fun, though, and I'm really enjoying it, so I will certainly finish that. And I've also got somewhere, I don't know if it's up here in my cupboard, excuse me for creaking. Yes, I've also got one of the Eagle Moss collections of Neil Gaiman and John Romita's reboot of the series. Now, I think I might have shown this on a previous pickups video, but this is one I'm going to have a look at as well. So I should be a bit of an Eternals expert by the time I see the film. Also, in terms of comics, this came, I think, last week. Again, a lot of the old comics, just great fun. And this is from about 1960 onwards, the Silver Age Justice League of America, Volume 1 of the very early adventures of the Justice League. Again, I mean, the stories are very simplistic, but the artwork is dynamic and colourful, and the fun, they're just naive, sort of great, simple superhero stories. And of course, for completists who've seen Suicide Squad featuring Starro the Conqueror, the giant starfish, he was actually the first adversary of the Justice League back in 1960. So interesting that James Gunn picked Starro to be in the Suicide Squad film. I've read a couple of those. That's just nice, relaxing, easygoing, simplistic fun, and I love that. This came yesterday, similar from the DC collection, The World's Finest. This is volume 2. I picked this up for a few quid on eBay. I mean, it's weird. Some of these are crazy prices. This was about 10 quid, 10, 12 quid. And it's 200 odd pages of stories, again from 1959 to 1960, of Superman and Batman, of course, who were great friends in the World's Finest series. And again, really simplistic stories, but I just love that sort of straightforward, uncompromising, unpretentious artwork, and just simple, daft comic book stories before comics took themselves a little bit too seriously. So they are great fun, and I'm looking forward to getting stuck into them. I read one of them yesterday, and it's just Batman gets Superman powers because of alien intervention. In terms of magazine-y things, I picked this one up yesterday. Doctor Who Chronicles 1983. This is the latest special edition from Doctor Who magazine. I don't buy Doctor Who magazine anymore, but I do have a digital subscription. So I get the magazine every month, and to be honest, I don't really read a lot of it these days. But I do like these special editions that they do. They fixate on certain years. I think so far they've done 65 and 75, I think. And this is 1983, Peter Davison's second season of Doctor Who. This is interesting. I read the introduction to it. This sort of the peak of Doctor Who's last rush of popularity, really, in his 20th anniversary. Within a year or so, it was in danger of being cancellation and never really recovered. And this, as usual, has got extremely well-researched and well-illustrated articles about individual episodes, merchandise, magazines, books. And I think, hopefully, they're going to do a huge range of these things, which will really be yet another definitive collection of the history of Doctor Who, as if we don't have enough already. This is one that came yesterday, and I believe that one of my subscribers, Paul Gibbons, hope you're okay, Paul, haven't heard from you for a while, wanted me to review this when it came out, and I will. To explain what it is, it's called the Trod Book, but it isn't actually the Trod Book. It's actually issue 4 of a fan magazine which comes out every couple of years called Warp, which, as many of you will know, is the sound effect that Marvel coined to describe the materialization and dematerialization of the TARDIS in Doctor Who Weekly years ago. God, yeah, I'm quite the geek. And this is a book which focuses on comics in Doctor Who. And this is an issue I particularly wanted because this looks at the comics of the 60s and 70s when I was really reading those Doctor Who comics, particularly, for me, the 1970s comics, like TV Action and Countdown, which had these Doctor Who comic strips had always been a bit simplistic when it was in TV comic. The William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton stories were very simple children's stories. But when Countdown comic arrived in 1971, it was published by Polystyle, who also did TV comic, which had the rights to Doctor Who. They moved it over to this more sophisticated comic with much better art and stories which much better resemble the TV series. And this has got features on those various comic strips. I mean, I've only dipped into it and read a couple of things so far, but it's really comprehensive. List of all the comic strip adventures. I mean, if you're a fan of Doctor Who in comics, certainly the early days, you will want this. And it's out now. I think it's about a tenner. But, I mean, it's beautifully illustrated, and these books come out every 2 or 3 years because it takes so long to compile them and research and do the stuff, and it's a great book. And I might even do a separate video on that when I've covered more of it. A couple more things to show you. I picked up this last week. We're getting into that season now where celebrities bring out their autobiographies, and you get the usual run of people I'm not very interested in, comedians and reality stars. But I'm a big fan of this chap, Bob Mortimer, from Reeves and Mortimer. This is called And Away. It's his autobiography. Bob's had a career resurgence in the last few years, of course, with the series that he does with Paul Whitehouse, Gone Fishing, which has been very popular. I think he's in his 4th series at the moment. I'm 2 or 3 weeks behind, so I've got to catch up with that. He had a close shave a few years back. He had massive heart condition, and it's made him rethink his life and his career, and he's a bit more reflective. If you've seen him, and I was a big fan of Mick and Bob back in the day. Even a couple of years ago, they did a rebooted Big Night Out on BBC4. I don't know if that's coming back, but that was good fun. And I love the stuff he does on Would I Lie to You. I love that sort of slightly surreal, madcap comedy. You know, comedy today is sort of very clever and very artsy, very sophisticated. But I like a bit of knockabout fun. People hitting each other with frying pans and just saying bizarre inane things, which is why I'm a fan of Harry Hill and things like Count Arthur Strong. If you've never seen Count Arthur Strong, the sitcom that was on the BBC for 3 series, I've been watching that again recently on Netflix, and it's just endlessly rewatchable because it's just daft. And sometimes I like a bit of daft. Nothing wrong with that. So I'm looking forward to having a look at Bob Mortimer's book. I've done a couple of other books. I'm not reading a lot at the moment, unfortunately. It's taking me. I've got so many things to do and read. It's hard to find time to do them all. But that's what I'm certainly looking forward to getting stuck into before Christmas. Other bits and bobs. Now, these arrived last week. I'd totally forgotten I'd ordered them. This is the problem with ordering things online. Sometimes you buy things and they either don't come and you forget about them, or they do come months afterwards and you think, oh yeah, I forgot about this. I must have ordered these back in the summer. It's just one of these Facebook things. You know what Facebook is like? They pick up on the algorithm of what you're interested in and the things you bought, and they focus adverts based on those sort of things. So obviously they know I'm interested in films. And there was a company, I think it was in Japan or China, who were doing these little figurines, classic figurines of movie characters. So I picked up 3 of them and I totally forgot them. And they arrived this week. This is a little figurine of Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. It's quite nice. He's got the golden skull thing in his hand. Normally I go for sort of, size accurate figures, if you like. I can't stand those pop Funko things that people obsess about. I think they're grotesque. But these, I think, are quite nice little pieces to put on the shelf somewhere. Even though they obviously caricature type things, I think they're just quite nice. So I got that one of Harrison Ford. This is Marty McFly from Back to the Future. It's not an incredible likeness, but of course it's got the skateboard and the costume and stuff. It just looks rather nice. And it is one of my favourite films, so I thought I'd get that. And this is absolutely one of my favourite films. This is Vincent Vega, as played by John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, carrying his milkshake, dressed in his scruffy suit with a cigarette. First of all, I thought it was damaged when I looked at the foot, but it's just reflecting the fact that his shoes are a little bit threadbare. His feet are poking through. So yeah, I can't remember how much they were. 20 quid for the 3 perhaps. And they arrived this week, and I thought, for a second I opened them, I thought, what? I don't remember these. But then I remember them. Okay, that's more or less it. I've got one more thing to show you. I'm going to move the alien thing out of the way because this has got a big one too. This came today. I picked this up in flash sale on Eagle Moss last week. And this is where I pick up, I do like a sale. I like a bargain. And this came up on sale on Eagle Moss. They had one of their 24-hour flash sales. So I haven't opened it yet. It's the USS Enterprise. From the original Star Trek, the only Star Trek as far as I'm concerned. And this is a very nice little figure which is in its box, and I haven't opened it yet. It came in a box this morning with a couple of other things. So check it out. Shall I tilt you down so you can see it better that way? Let's have a look at this one. Okay. Hang on. Okay, right, let's get it out of this box. There's a bit of cellophane. You get a magazine to go with it, which tells you the history of the Enterprise. Again, usual photographs and bits and pieces. That should be quite interesting. It's a lot of the classics. That's the classic stuff that I tend to go for, the 60s and 70s stuff, rather than more modern things. Just carefully, as we can, get this open. There we are. Nicely packed inside this plasticky stuff, and here she is. Will be a nice figure when I can get it out and show you. There's the stand, so there's the stand for it. And here she is, coming out of her box. Oh God. There she is, and that's the little thing for the stand. The USS Enterprise. That's a nice figure. That's very nice. Very pleased with that. Box out of the way. So it is the USS Enterprise from the Eagle Moss collection. I will just carefully assemble it. Take the little plasticky stand out of its box. Let's get the old scissors of doom out. Right, chuck that to one side, chuck that to one side, put that in there, nice and safely, and I think she goes in like that, something like that. Imbecile in action. I'm sure it's pretty easy to do, but oh, I don't know. I'll sort it out later. Anyway, you can see what the model is like. It's a really, really nice piece. Starship Enterprise, the original Starship Enterprise. Of course, they're much slicker and more sophisticated in CGI. But this was a model that they used on the TV show. And I love it because it's from the 60s when things were much smaller. I'll just have a look at the box to see how we do it. Okay. Right, anyway, that's the Enterprise, which I will put on display very soon. Right, let's put you back up there. Right, anyway, that's quite a long video. That's my pickups for the last couple of weeks. I don't think there's anything else that I've had that you'd be interested in. So a usual mixed bag of things. Let me know what you think of them, if you're interested in getting a hold of any of them. If you've bought anything interesting that you think I might be interested in, put a note down below, subscribe, and I'll be back with some more bits and pieces coming up very soon. Until I'm back, you know what they say. Yeah, that's right. You keep taking the stuff. See you soon. Oh, and in case you were thinking, what an idiot, I got it sorted. So that's the Enterprise in its little display thing, which I'll put on display very soon. Bye.
That's all, folks.